Ahankara means identification with the body-mind complex, or BMI. So that is called Ahankara. So one who has this Ahankara, he says, I am the doer. And that's what everybody thinks. It's a very common thing. Everybody says, I am the doer. And the Karma Yogi also says, I am the doer, because he has not yet come to the stage of Jnana, where Jnana means to understand, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am the pure consciousness, in whose presence the body, mind and intellect get activated and is able to perform actions. That subtle point we should know. So that is called Atma, Anatma, Viveka. Viveka means to separate. Being able to separate the functions of Atma and Anatma. Now it is all mixed up. Atma and Anatma are all mixed up like the electricity passing through a bulb. It is all mixed up. Through knowledge, one should be able to separate the two. When we study physics, we know that electricity is a different entity, the bulb and the filament are a totally different entity. But still combined together they produce light. Similarly, consciousness and matter combined together, actions become possible. Physical actions, mental actions, intellectual actions, all sorts of actions. So one who doesn't know this says, Aham Karta iti manyate. He says, I am the doer. Now what about a wise man, Tattvavit, one who knows Tattva. Tattva means the principle of truth. He says, Gunaha guneshu vartante. The outer world of objects is constituted of the gunas of Prakriti. My body mind is also, this body mind complex is also made up of the gunas. Matter is interacting with matter. Suppose I lift up this bottle. Matter is interacting with matter. Consciousness is really speaking only an uninvolved witness. But because of the presence of consciousness alone, I am able to lift this bottle. But consciousness is not the doer. Body mind is the doer. Who is lifting the bottle? Body mind. But body mind cannot do anything without the touch of consciousness. Consciousness is not the doer. It is the Sakshi Chaitanya. And who am I? I am really speaking the Sakshi Chaitanya. Knowing that I am the Sakshi Chaitanya is called self-knowledge. So the man of self-knowledge says, matter is interacting with matter. I am not doing anything. So such a person is called a Mukta Purusha, is totally free. That is called Moksha. Being established in this knowledge is called Moksha. And this consciousness is not limited only to my body complex. It is the same consciousness which enlivens every body, every mind. Like the same electricity enlivens the bulb, the tube light, the fan, everything. There are no different electricities for different bulbs, different instruments. There is one electricity expressing through various instruments. But the electricity is an uninvolved witness of everything. But without it, nothing can happen. So similarly, the pure consciousness that I am expresses through the body, mind and intellect, actions become possible. The one who knows this is a Jnani. He is a Mukta Purusha. He has got moksha because he is free from action. Through knowledge, he is free from actions. Because he can say, I am not the doer. And he is free from action. But the man who doesn't know this says, I am the doer. So that is the technical difference between the actions of a Jnani and the actions of a Ajnani. So we have three stages. Unintelligent Karta, unintelligent doer. The next stage is intelligent doer. And the third stage is, I am not the doer. The last stage. But right now we are talking about being an intelligent doer. So perform actions in such a way that they help me to come to this self-knowledge. That is called intelligent action. So, having seen this, verse number 27 and 28, 29, we conclude the topic of Loka Sangraha by saying, Prakrite Guna Sammudaha Sajjante Guna Karmasu Dana Krishna Vido Mandan Krishna Vigna Vichalaye Prakrite Guna Sammudaha viveka naturally. Nobody is born with this viveka. All of us are getting confused about this mixture of Atma and Anatma. By nature it is there in everyone. So Sri Krishna says, a wise person should make people active in a healthy way. He should at the most tell them to become intelligent kartas, intelligent doers. He should never ask them to give up actions, because only when you perform actions there is growth. I told you, a tamasic person has to first become rajasic, and an inactive person has to become active. For that, selfishness is required. When there is selfishness, naturally you become active, because your desires will prompt you to do some actions. To fulfill those desires, you will become active. So first become active in a selfish way, then become active in an unselfish manner, then come to the state of knowledge where you know that I am not the doer. That is the goal of the spiritual, that is the ultimate end of the spiritual path. That is what all actions are meant for really, to free us from this sense of doership. Now, this is a topic which is over now with the verse number 29. Now, we have covered a lot of topics. Now, in this 30th verse, which is a very important verse, Sri Krishna again comes back to the topic of Karma Yoga, the summary. This is a summary shloka, a very important verse. Pujya Gurudev was very fond of this verse. He says, this verse gives the secret of success. This verse gives the secret of success. If you want to be successful in your field of action, in your sphere of action, understand the 5 points that are given in this shloka. What are the 5 points? We'll see. Mayi sarvani karmani Sanyasyadhyatma chetasa Nirashi nirmamo bhutva Yudhyasva vigatajvaraha Mayi sarvani take up the 5 points one by one. The first point is the last word in the first line, Adhyatma Chetasa. Just make a note separately. Adhyatma Chetasa. Adhyatma Chetas. Chetas means buddhi. Adhyatma Chetas means Viveka Buddhi. Adhyatma Chetas means Viveka Buddhi. What is the Viveka? Viveka also always means to separate. Viveka comes from the root word which means to separate. So, just remember this example. Suppose you mix sand and sugar and you put an ant in that mixture, what will it do? Suppose you mix sand and sugar and put an ant in that mixture, what will it do? It takes only that is called Viveka. He separates the sand from the sugar and chooses only the sugar. So ant has got lot of Viveka. It uses his buddhi very well. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna says, this world is a mixture of sand and sugar. And we should choose only the sugar. If we have Viveka, we should use that Viveka. We have it, we have to use it, that's all. We use our buddhi to choose the right thing. So, Adhyatma Chetas means Viveka Buddhi. So, the Upanishad, there is a famous Upanishad called the Katha Upanishad, which is a dialogue between a boy called Nachiketas and the Lord of Death. Who is the Lord of Death? Yama. It's a beautiful dialogue between Nachiketas and Yama. So Yama tells Nachiketas, every moment of life you have a choice. What is the choice? It is the choice between the path of Shreyas and the path of Preyas. Shreyas and Preyas, Gurudev puts it like this: the path of the pleasant and the path of the good. The path of the pleasant and the path of the good. What is pleasant may not always be good. Gurudev also says, what is beautiful may not be always good, but what is good is always beautiful. What is beautiful may not be always good, but what is good is always beautiful. So the path of Shreyas is the path of the good, and the path of Preyas is the path of the pleasant. And human life is difficult because every moment we have to choose between the path of Shreyas and the path of Preyas. And if you don't have enough knowledge, you will make a wrong choice. Suppose you go to a cloth store or some other store and you have to choose what to buy, what not to buy. For that you require knowledge, isn't it? You have to choose the right thing to buy. You have to see into so many factors to make the right choice. That depends on your knowledge. Similarly, if you don't have proper knowledge, you will make the wrong choices every moment, or once in a way we make a wrong choice, once in a way we make the right choice. It happens to all of us. We all made wrong choices and suffered also. So every moment of life is a choice between the path of Shreyas and the path of Preyas. Preyas gives us something very pleasant, but in the long run it is not very good for us. Shreyas appears difficult in the beginning, but in the long run it is very good for us. So Sri Krishna says, the first step in becoming a karma yogi is, through karma I can get what is pleasant, through karma I can get what is good. So do I want the good or do I want the pleasant? That's the choice we have to make. So the one who makes the choice of Shreyas can become a karma yogi. So it says, Adhyatma Chetas, Viveka Buddhi. Viveka between the path of Shreyas and the path of Preyas. Now having chosen the path of Shreyas, next is Yudhyasva Vigata Jvaraha. Yudhyasva Vigata Jvaraha. Yudhyasva means fight. So should everyone fight? No, it's not talking about fighting. Yudhyasva means Arjuna Swadharma is to fight. Kartavya. Here Swadharma means Kartavya Karma. Arjuna's Kartavya Karma is to fight. So he should perform his duty of fighting. Yudhyasva. Vigata Jvara we'll see at the end, last. Yudhyasva. And then with what attitude should he perform his duty? Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. Of sanyasya here means arpayitva. Just make a note. Sanyasya is equal to arpayitva, having offered. Here sannyasa refers to arpanam, dedication, offering. Mai, in me, sarvani karmani, all your actions. Whatever actions you are performing, secular or sacred, worldly or spiritual or religious, offer them to me. Do it as an offering to me. That's the third point. So first point is Adhyatma Chetas. Second point is Yudhyasva. Perform your duty, not somebody else's duty. You do your duty. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya, and do your duty as an offering to me. Do Ishwararpita karma. And while doing the duty and before doing the duty, Nirashi. Asha means expectation. Nirasha means I am ready for any result. Of course, I have a goal in mind. That is part of any action, having a goal. You try to reach that goal, you try to get that goal, but one should know that there are many factors involved in producing that goal. So I should be ready for any result. That is called Nirasha, readiness to receive any result. Not that you should not try to get a proper result. You should try your best, but be ready for any result. And when the result comes, Nirmama. Mama means mamakara, meaning Don't have a pride that I got this result. So nirmama means prasada buddhi. Nirmama means prasada buddhi. It is the prasada from the Lord. See, suppose you get very good marks in the exam. It is not just your effort alone that produced the marks. The teachers have struggled, your parents have struggled, so many people are involved in conducting the exam, in the smooth conduct of the exam. All of them have contributed to your getting that 95%. So 95% you got, partly your effort, but there are so many other factors involved when you get that 95%. When a farmer grows the crop, it's not just his effort alone, nature, so many God's grace, everything is involved in that. His effort is only say 10% or 5%. 90 or 95% is the involvement of so many other persons and factors. Because of that he got a good crop. Because of that you got 95%. So just say it is the prasada from the Lord. It is God's blessings. God means totality. God always implies the totality. My parents help me, my brothers and sisters help me, my neighbors help me, and of course, when I eat food, I don't digest the food. Who digests the food? God Himself digests the food. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidam, says Sri Krishna in the 15th chapter. I alone digest your food in the form of the Vaishvanara Agni. I am the digestive fire which digests the food in each person, says Krishna in the 15th chapter. So I don't digest the food, I just put the food inside. Even to take the food inside, I need strength. Who gave me the strength? Lord alone gave me the strength. So when I get 95%, I should remember all these factors. Because of that, I was able to get 95%. That is called nirmama. No pride. No pride. Nirmama means no pride. If I get what I want, fine. If I don't get what I want, that is also fine. It is the will of the Lord. It is the prasada. Whatever comes is prasada only. And prasada means prasannata. So nirmama means no mental reactions. Meaning no extreme mental reactions. Not that there will be no reaction at all because you are not a stone. There will be some reaction, but no extreme mental reactions. You don't get carried away by the reaction. That's what it means. You may feel very happy when you get good marks, or you may feel sad for some time when you get low marks. That's natural. But don't carry it forward. After 1 or 2 days, come back to normal very soon. Don't go on criticizing others or becoming extremely proud and all that. That's not wise. So, nirmama, no mental reactions, no pride, prasada buddhi. And these are the 5 factors. So, first factor is, the starting point is adhyatma chetasa. Whenever I perform any action, I say I am performing action for my inner growth as well as for the external benefit. Secondly, what action do I perform? I perform my swadharma, my duty, not somebody else's duty. Third, my sarvani karmani sanyasya. I perform my duty as a worship of the Lord, as an offering to the Lord, or which is a yajna bhava. Third, fourth, nirashi, without any expectation, insistence. Nirasha means no insistence. If I get what I want, I am ready to accept. If I don't get what I want, I am ready to accept. I am prepared for both. Meaning I tell my mind, what you expect may happen, may not happen. And nirmama, when I get the result, I am not proud, the mind doesn't react. When I don't get the result what I wanted, I say it is all the blessings of the Lord. I get very good marks, my project becomes a success, it is a blessing of the Lord. Project doesn't become a success, it is the will of the Lord. There are many factors involved. I accept. So nirmama means acceptance, no mental reactions, no pride, prasada buddhi. So when you, in the sphere of action, when we involve all the 5 factors in our action, then there is spiritual growth. Now we come to the last word, vigata jvaraha. Vigata jvaraha. So when we are performing our duty, what do we perform our duty with? Body, of course. but mind is more important, isn't it? Mind is the doer. So Gurudev always used to say, mind is the doer. Mind means mind, intellect, everything, all the aspects of the antahkarana, inner instrument. So mind is the doer. So what should be our state of mind? What should be the quality of your mind when we are performing action? Because the mind is the doer. The mind should be calm, focused. That's what Gurudev used to say. Let your mind be where your hands are. Very easy to say that, but difficult to practice. So Jwara means mental fever. Usually Jwara means physical fever. Here mental fever. Mental fever, Gurudev says, is of three types. Three types of mental fever. They are regrets of the past. So Gurudev says, see, to succeed in any field, we need lot of energy. Any action needs energy. But our energy is getting leaked out through three channels. Three channels through which our energy gets wasted, leaked out. One is regrets of the past, brooding over the past. As a person gets older, this is evident more and more. After 60, a person talks only about his past. 60 or 65 or 70 especially. After 70, though, nothing but the past only he talks about. Younger a person is, the less he talks about his past. 10-year-old boy, have you heard a 10-year-old boy talking about the past? No. But by 20, you will start talking about the past. After 30, a little more. After 40, more. By 60, 70, only the past. All the time talking about the past. I did this, I did that, it happened to me. So many things. So, regrets of the past or brooding over the past, that is one leakage of energy and waste of time also. Then anxiety about the future, that is the second leakage of energy. Anxiety about the future. That's also waste of time, worrying about the future. Because what is the future? Past modified by the present is the future. Gurudev used to say, the past modified by the present is the future. So nothing else can be the future. Past is over, present is in your hands. So make the present efficient, work efficiently in the present. That's all we can do. There's no point at all worrying about the future. It's a very foolish thing to do, worrying about the future. We can plan for the future, but not worry about the future. Then the third thing is excitements of the present. Excitement of the present is you are not able to choose what to do first, what to do second, what to do third. You are so excited, you do this, you do that, ultimately you are not efficient at all. You run here and there, you do this and that. Like when you sit for study, sometimes you find it difficult which subject to take up first. You take up physics, study it for half an hour, then put down that because you didn't understand something. Then you take up some other topic, like chemistry, and that's also difficult, put that down. Then you take up mathematics, you don't understand anything. So like that. Ultimately 1-2 hours is gone without studying anything. That's called excitements of the present. No planning. So what is the solution for that? Gurudev puts it very beautifully. But of course that is also easier said than done. Plan out your work, work out your plan. Plan out your work out your plan. That's the solution. So then there will be no jwara. When you drop your anxieties about the future because it's meaningless, when you drop your regrets of the past because it's a waste of energy and time, when you plan properly, then all the three leakages of energy are blocked. And you will have plenty of energy, your mind is totally in the work at hand. Then you will be very, very efficient. Your mind is totally in the work at hand, mind is available, then you are very, very efficient. So that is Karma Yoga. So this verse completely summarizes the topic of Karma Yoga. Very important verse, so we'll chant it once again. Mai sarvani Next, 31 and 32, Sri Krishna says, if you follow this teaching, you will be very happy. If you don't follow this teaching, you will be unhappy. That is the essence of the next two verses. If you follow this teaching, you will be successful. If you don't follow this teaching, your life will be a failure. Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तः मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः ये त्वेतदभ्यसूयन्तः नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम् सर्वज्ञानविमूढांस्तान् विद्धि नष्टान चेतसः ये मे in the 31st verse he says, Ye, those who may matam, this teaching of mine, this advice of mine, nityam anutishtanti, always follow this teaching, manava. This teaching is meant for human beings. Karma yoga is not for animals. Karma yoga is for human beings. Shraddhavantaha, with full faith in this teaching, that this teaching will definitely benefit me. Anasuyantaha, without finding faults in me, without finding faults in the teaching. Asuya means finding faults. When you are jealous of somebody, you find faults in that person. So, those who are jealous of Krishna will find faults in Krishna and Krishna's teaching. So, Asuya means fault finding. So, those who have full faith in my teaching, without finding fault in me or in my teaching, they will be free from all karmas. They will become liberated. Muchyante tepi karma vihi. Meaning, through karma yoga, their minds will be purified, elevated, uplifted. With such a beautiful mind, they will come to self-knowledge and be free from all actions forever. They will become mukta. They will gain moksha. But suppose a person has a lot of negative attitude towards Krishna and his teachings, then what happens? He says, Sarva Jnana Vimudha. Sarva Jnana, he will not get any knowledge. Meaning, the first knowledge we should have is Dharma, Adharma, Viveka. What is the first Viveka we should have? Dharma, Adharma, Viveka. Then having followed that, we will come to Atma, Anatma, Viveka. Through Atma, Anatma, Viveka, we become free from bondage, free from every type of bondage. That is called moksha. But these people who have no faith in the Shastra, no faith in the teachings of Krishna or any Guru, they will never get any Viveka. And when they have no Dharma, Adharma, Viveka, they will follow the path of Adharma. Because Adharma is always very attractive, very fascinating. And of course, they will never come to Atma, Anatma, Viveka. Because a person with impure mind will never come to self-knowledge. So their life is a human life goes waste. They'll be eating and all that, just enjoying the different pleasures of life and not more of pain than pleasure. Because when you are not intelligent, pleasures will give more pain. Every pleasure carries pain with it. So they will have a little pleasure and more pain, and their human life goes waste. It's a waste of human life. One opportunity is wasted. So the message is perform actions intelligently, uplift yourself, come to knowledge and become free. That is the message. Now the question is, why do people not follow this teaching of Karma Yoga? Why they are not able to follow? He says, Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakrute jnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigrahah kim karishyati sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha Sri Krishna is as though helpless. Sri Krishna is saying, Prakritim yanti bhutani. All living beings will follow their Prakriti. What can restrain do? What can we do? Everybody will follow their Prakriti. Prakriti means their innate nature. So Shankaracharya explains Prakriti as Purva Krita Dharma Dharmadi Samskaraha Vartamana Janmado Abhivyakta. He says Prakriti is, in our earlier lives we have done many things, good or bad. All that is carried forward to this life in the form of samskaras, impressions. Samskara means impression. Whatever we do, it leaves an impression on the mind. That is called samskara or vasana. So those vasanas and samskaras are all carried forward to this life. And everybody will behave according to their innate samskaras they are born with. So Sri Krishna is saying, what can we do about it? We can't do anything. So he is as though helpless. But in the next verse he gives the solution. Indriyasyendriyasyarthe ragadveshau vyavasthitau tayornavashamagacche tau yasya paripantino indriyasyendriyasyate Many years back, in the year 1991, I think so, Pujya Gurudev had come to Bangalore for a Geeta Gnana Yajna. It was, I think it was in a parade ground or something in MG Road. I think so. MG Road only. And on the first day, I had gone for the inauguration. I was sitting in the crowd. And Pujya Gurudev was on the stage. Swami Harshananda from Ramakrishna Ashram was also on the stage. And one or two other dignitaries were there on the stage. And of course, all the formalities were over, and Pujya Gurudev started his discourse, the inaugural comments. So Pujya Gurudev, he said, he gave a very funny example. He was describing what is the difference between an uncultured person and a cultured person. What is the difference between an uncultured person and a cultured person? I heard this directly from him. So he said, suppose a young man is there, say about 30 or 40 years old, and he is going, and in front of him he sees a beautiful young lady. He sees a beautiful young lady. Now if he is an uncultured person, he will whistle at the lady, isn't it? He will whistle at the lady. What about the cultured person? Suppose a cultured young man also sees the lady, the whistle will come up to the throat, it will not come out. The whistle will come up to the throat, it will not come out. So what is the difference? Both of them whistled really, but one whistle came out, the other whistle didn't come out. So that's what he is saying. In this Bhagavad Gita, this verse is saying, Indriyasya indriyasyarthe. The senses have objects. The eyes see forms and colors, the nose smells, Every sense organ has an object with which it experiences. Raga dveshau vyavasthitau. Every sense organ has raga dvesha, meaning likes and dislikes, meaning preferences. I want this, I don't want that. I want to enjoy this, I don't want to enjoy that. This gives me happiness, this doesn't give me happiness. That's called raga dvesha. It is there. Everybody has raga dvesha. Tayoho vasham na agache. So your character is nothing but the sum total of your raga dvesh or vasanas. But don't come under their control. It's not that you don't have raga dvesh or vasanas. Everybody has vasanas. Everybody has raga dvesh. Your raga dvesh may be different from my raga dvesh, but everybody has. The sadhana to be performed is, what is my role as a cultured person, as a sadhak? Tayoho vasham na agache. Don't come under the control of the raga dvesh. Don't come under the control of the vasana. That is the sadhana. Tauhi asya paripantino. The ragadveshas are thieves who will steal your viveka. If you follow ragadvesh, you will lose your viveka. And if you lose your viveka, you are no better than an animal. If you lose your viveka, if you go by ragadvesh, you are no different from an animal. Then your human birth is wasted. But if you follow viveka and don't go according to your raga dvesh, then you are a human being. Not a god, but a human being. Not a god man, but a human being. So, tayoho vasham na agache. Underline that phrase. Tayoho vasham na agache. Don't come under the control of your raga dveshas, or you can call it vasanas also. Here the word used is raga dvesh. Don't come under the control of your likes and dislikes. Don't become a puppet in the hands of your likes and dislikes. You should be able to overcome the likes and dislikes. That is called sadhana. That is called real manliness. Human being. Tayoho vasham na agache. So now we will have a technical discussion on this, because you have to understand how to gain control or rise above ragadvesh or vasanas. The vasanas are innate. See, a diabetic, I'll give an example of a diabetic person. Diabetes is very common. Everybody has diabetes nowadays. After 40, everybody gets diabetes. 90% of people maybe, or 70% at least. So, suppose a diabetic person goes to a wedding. So in the wedding there is a line of sweets placed on the table. All sorts of foods are there. Line of sweets. And who can resist when he sees that line of sweets? Very difficult. So if he is a good diabetic who obeys his doctor, he will say, not that he does get the desire to eat the sweets. The desire rises because of raga dvesh. The raga is there. The liking is there for sweets. Especially if he is a new diabetic. Liking is even stronger. So if he is a good diabetic, the desire rises in the mind. Definitely it rises. But he says, no. The doctor has said I should not eat sweets. And he ignores that desire. So the desire doesn't get converted into action. Desire is there, but it doesn't get converted into action because he uses his viveka. What is the viveka? That eating sweets is harmful for me. I should not eat. That is the viveka. So because of his viveka, he is able to overcome that desire to eat sweets. But if he is a bad diabetic, he will just eat sweets. Say, okay, I don't attend marriages every day. It's only once in a way. What will happen? I can eat another tablet, that's all. And take one more extra tablet, and it will be balanced. Like that, he convinces himself and takes there. And you cannot stop at one sweet. One sweet becomes two, two becomes three. Finally, all problems start. That's how. And next week again he goes to another marriage. Same thing happens. So the health goes down and down. So how did he overcome that desire to eat the sweet? First of all, he became aware of that desire. First, he was alert enough to become aware of that thought which arose. I should eat that sweet. Then he ignored that thought. So the thought did not get converted converted into an action. Thoughts get converted into actions, isn't it? He snubbed that thought at the thought level itself. He ignored that thought, so the thought did not get converted into action. So the first thought that rises in us, in technical language it is called sankalpa. You know the word kama. Kama means desire. Any desire is called kama. But there is a stage before kama, and that is called sankalpa. The first thought. Just write, first thought is equal to sankalpa. Sankalpa repeated becomes kama. Kama repeated becomes karma. Sankalpa repeated becomes kama. Kama repeated becomes sankalpa. Sankalpa is what comes according to our nature. See, I may not get a desire when I see a sweet because I am not interested in sweets. But I may get a desire in something else. Or hatred or desire, whatever. Depending on my raga dvesha, the first thought will rise. It depends on whatever I have, what is my nature. So according to my nature, the first thought will come. You cannot avoid it, it will definitely come. Like Gurudev said, the whistle came up to this point, but it did not come out because he snubbed it at the beginning itself. He ignored it. That is called sadhana. So, first thought is equal to sankalpa. Sankalpa repeated becomes kama. Kama expresses as karma, and karma expresses as karma phala. So in most people what happens is, all this happens so fast, sankalpa, kama, karma, that we become aware of the whole thing and the phala comes to us. When the phala comes, we become aware, oh, I should not have eaten that, I should not have done that, I should not have spoken like that. Sometimes we speak something which is not supposed to be spoken when we become angry. So the anger, in the beginning, if you can notice, oh, the anger is rising, that is sankalpa. Before it gets converted into anger, if you can notice that anger, the first thought, then you can ignore that anger, if the anger will not get converted into words or action. But we become aware only when the anger has already expressed in the form of action. Then we say sorry, but it's too late. Many times that sorry is too late. Nothing can be done, the damage is done. So, how to rise above raga dvesha? By becoming alert about the thoughts that are rising in the mind. When a sankalpa rises, the first thought rises, it is our nature. Become aware, is this okay for me? If it is okay, you continue. If it is not okay, I'll give you an example. Suppose some guests have come to your house. You are with your parents or your brother or whatever, and you are sitting in the drawing room, the guests are also there. Then let's say your mother or brother says something which makes you angry. Suppose they say something which makes you angry. The anger rises, you are aware of the anger, but because the guests are there, you keep quiet, isn't it? Then later you express that anger and the guests have gone away. So it is possible to be aware of the thought, ignore the thought, and pursue the thought if required. If not required, ignore the thought permanently. So that's what he is saying. Be an alert person when it comes to thoughts. And the first thought rises, ask yourself, is it good for me? Is it in accordance with my duty? If it is not good for you, ignore it. If it is okay, continue, no problem. That is how we have to lead an alert. That's why Gurudev used to say, alert and vigilant living is sadhana. So Karma Yogi is always alert, is always vigilant about the thoughts that rise in his mind. Because you know what is hijacking? What is hijacking? What is hijacking? Plane is supposed to go to Mumbai. What happens? So the hijacker takes the plane to Hyderabad, let's say. So the plane that was supposed to go to Mumbai is taken to Hyderabad. In the same way, we get hijacked by our thoughts. Who is hijacking us? Our thoughts. So you say tomorrow 11 o'clock up to 1 o'clock, 2 hours I am going to sit and study. You make a sankalpa. Then at 11, after you sat down, suddenly you remember, oh, that friend of mine, I have not talked to her for so many months. I'll just speak to her for 5 minutes and then sit for study. So 5 minutes becomes 50 minutes. 5 minutes becomes 50 minutes. The study for that day is over. What happened? You are hijacked by your thoughts. Or you sit for meditation. Suddenly you remember, there was that jamun in that fridge. Arey, just one jamun. I'll just finish off that jamun and come back and sit for meditation. And meditation is over. That day's meditation is over. Because the mood has changed. So many other thoughts will come. So you are hijacked by your thoughts. So Sri Krishna is saying, be alert, don't get hijacked by your thoughts, by your ragatvish, by your likes and dislikes. Whatever goal you have, pursue that goal. Don't get distracted by your vasanas, by your ragatvish. Be alert. Now, very important topic, Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. Paradharmat Swanushtita. Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha. Paradharmo Bhayavaha. Shreyan Swadharmo. Just draw 3 concentric circles in your book. 3 concentric circles. You know what are concentric circles? Same center. 3 concentric circles. For the outermost circle, put an arrow and say Paradharma. For the middle circle, put an arrow and say Swadharma. And for the innermost circle, put an arrow and say Swarupa Dharma. Swadharma, Paradharma, Swarupa Dharma. We can put it this way. Paradharma is somebody else's duty. Swadharma is my own duty. And Swarupa Dharma is my higher spiritual nature. Satchidananda Swarupa. What is everybody's Swarupa Dharma? Satchit Ananda. Pure existence, pure consciousness. When you know you are Satchit, then there is real Ananda, happiness. That is Satchidananda. So 3 concentric circles. The outermost circle is Paradharma, somebody else's duty. Middle circle is Swadharma, my own duty. Innermost circle is Swarupa Dharma, my true higher spiritual nature. So, what is life? In life we have to come to, now many of us are in Paradharma, imitating somebody, having all sorts of desires which are none of our business actually. That is Paradharma. That comes because of lot of external influences. We do many things which are none of our business. That is Paradharma. We imitate others. That is Paradharma. Swadharma is what is really your duty, what is really belonging to your nature, what is suits you really, that is Swadharma. Then remaining in Swadharma, perform Karma Yoga, perform that Swadharma as a yoga, with Yoga Buddhi, then you will be able to come to your Swarupa Dharma, that is self-knowledge. So then life is fulfilled. That's what Sri Krishna is saying. Minimize Paradharma, come to Swadharma, then you will be able to come to Swarupa Dharma, which is your true nature, and you will be fulfilled. Human life will get fulfilled because Swarupa Dharma is Purna. You will become complete, free from all limitations, and your human life is fulfilled. So tomorrow we'll see the rest of the shlokas and complete this topic of intelligent action. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaः, Sarve Santu Niramayāः, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaśyid Dukkhabhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Some slips were given.